So I'm gonna start this out on a bummer note, but I do want to dedicate this podcast episode to my sister who just passed away. Sylvia, I love you. I miss you, and this nonsense is for you. All right, are we ready to pretend to be friends again?
It's been a whole year since the last time. I don't know if I can do this.
Has it been a year?
It really has. I
Oh my
mean,
gosh.
yeah, last time was rough, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's my alcohol. And welcome to You're My Best Friend, a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos. Or was it a podcast about life, friendship, and tacos?
Was it now?
Find out after the break. That was my attempt at being Ryan Seacrest for a minute. So
That was great. Do you want to redo that?
nope, that was great. I'm a one-take wonder. Hey, so you might be wondering, did we just pull another Beyonce and just drop a podcast episode after a year or so of silence? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, we did. We actually
And
did, ladies and gentlemen.
yes. And we actually have to come clean.
Yeah, I think we do. I think it's time.
Yeah. I think that the audience not only deserves to know the truth,
I think
but
they
they
want
also
to know the truth.
they want to know the truth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
all three of them.
yeah. Listen, there has been like dozen of people hitting us up asking us what's going on. Like
Dozen of
10,
people.
like 10 people have messaged us
That's
saying,
crazy
"Hey,
amount of people. More than
what?"
I ever thought we'd reach.
Exactly. And I think it's time to come clean on the fact that this was all just one giant April Fool's joke.
We got you.
We there was never a podcast.
No.
There was never a friendship. I don't even know this person. We've never been in the same room together.
Literally, who even are you?
Listen, you answered a Craigslist ad, and then next thing you know, there was money thrown at us. We got paid $1 million for this entire ruse.
See, here's the thing. It's ruse, first of all. Man,
Your
a year
ruse.
is not long enough. First of all, here's the thing. Everybody thinks AI really came into play last year, 2023. Here's the thing. Those photos that we had circulating of our 10-year-long friendship, quote unquote, those were generated by AI. Those weren't actually real. I don't know who this person is. I don't know his middle name. I don't know where the heck he is right now. Why? What does the sign behind you say? Fark? I don't know.
It does with
And
my
it's
head in the middle.
It's like, here's the thing. You've heard of like One Direction, right? Where they took 5 boys and like put them on American Idol and they were all came in separately. And then the directors were like, oh, you'd be better together. And then they created this boy band group and then, you know, the rest is history. But like that was all created by Hollywood. This
Yeah.
was created by Hollywood to be
Yes.
an
No,
April Fool's joke.
okay, first of all, you're giving it way too much credit. First of all, it was the X Factor in the UK, not American Idol.
I
And
don't
the
know
show
anything.
and the show that we were on was called The Y Factor, which is why the hell are we doing this? And it wasn't Hollywood. It wasn't even Bollywood. It was Dollywood.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton is the reason why we are doing this whole thing.
Yeah. The reason is her.
Yeah.
And the reason is her.
Yeah. And it started off in 2005.
Yeah.
When Moxie was a mere what, like
8?
7? Yeah, 8 years old, and I was however old I was at the time, and there was $1 million deal that went down,
Mhm.
and this has all just been a lie. Like, there's no friendship. Facebook pages were created. Like, my name's not even Ruben J. Like, let's be real here. Like, that's not who I am.
What is your name?
I can't tell you.
Is it jalapeno?
Shush.
Is it jalapena?
Shush. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly that's the reason why we came back, was to tell you all that the last 5 years have been a lie.
We broke our contract in closing out the podcast 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it was. And the contractors have been hounding us ever since to continue this thing. And we tried last year, but it was just too hard. I mean, working with this guy this way, that way, this guy.
You see what I mean? This is just all just one giant roux. Like, she doesn't even know which position she's in. I am in at.
I've been so brainwashed by the system. I don't even know.
See, and I think I can do this still. I just switched it up.
This guy. I still pointed the wrong way.
Oh, that was the funny part. Here's the deal. We decided that since today is our 5th year anniversary of launching the greatest April Fool's joke ever told, that we do it again.
It
was never a podcast. You've heard don't call it a comeback. Well, we're going to say don't call it a podcast because it was never a thing. Like, you can search us and you won't find us on the internet.
No, it's not real. I don't even know how you're listening to this right now.
You're not real, man.
You're not real. Who even are you?
I don't know. I think we've tried establishing this already.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah. So do we want to tell them what we're really doing here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. No, we just miss you guys.
April Fools on an April Fools. That's what this is.
April Foolsception.
Boom, roasted.
Listen, if everyone else can get a reboot, we might as well do like a mini reboot here, like a reunion show.
Yeah, exactly. I say we do one every year just for kicks.
Sure, that sounds great.
Do what I just did and stress out about timing and getting here on time and equipment malfunctioning and everything. And it's just like the good old days.
I was gonna say, it sounds just like the last time we did this.
Yeah, exactly. Except last time was in my home.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a fun one.
No, that was a weird time in life.
Who's Kirk?
I don't know. What does that whole sign say? Falkirk.
Yeah. I'm at Lauren's apartment.
I like Fark better.
I also like how, like, if I put my head a certain way, it's Kirk. Put it the other way, it's Fall. Hey, look at
you. Shut up. It was twice.
Listen, since the last time we've done this, Moxie has fallen 4 more times.
I have not. It has been 1 more time.
I think twice and a half. But we won't talk about the half. No, like, honestly, we just missed you guys, and we thought, you know what, there's nothing better to do on our 5-year anniversary of doing this than to do a podcast. And we Beyonce'd this.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Neither can I.
So long.
What have you? Let me ask you this. Because I think
just wasted.
For sure, 100%. Like, it was probably the biggest waste of time of our life, and we're wasting more of our time.
Seriously,
doing this.
why are we doing this?
I mean, that $1 million contract might actually be a real thing. Like 12 more episodes that we have to honor. But we'll see how this goes, because I honestly don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
But Moxie, let me ask you this. In the last 5 years, a lot has changed, obviously. We used to do these shows strictly just audio. And then we started doing video podcasting, and then we had a studio space for a minute.
Yeah.
The world shut down somewhere in between there. Then we stopped doing the shows in the same room. And then we stopped being friends for a little bit. And now we're friends again. What's one of us better than
yeah,
it depends the day of the week. Mainly for Brad's sake.
Friends.
Yeah. Brad and I are friends. So I mean, that right there. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you stay together for the sake of the kids.
Yeah, Brad and Lauren, our kids.
Anyway, what have you learned in the last 5 years of doing this podcast for about 2.5, and then not doing it for 3 years?
Did you want a bullet point list, or?
Yeah, like top two.
I think top 2 for me. Number 1, the friendship is always more important than the business. And that needs to be prioritized, because if you don't have your friendship, then it's you're not building on anything. Like it's like for me, it goes like friendship is the foundation, business is the cherry on top. And if you don't have the friendship, that's the foundation that's you're building on, then you don't have anything. Like if you're just focusing on the businesses, your bottom is going to crumble out from under you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's in a small way that's kind of what happened to us. There were other issues, but I mean ultimately we decided to prioritize the friendship, and I'm so glad we did.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, for us, it's kind of ironic that we were having friendship issues with a podcast called You're
On a
My Best Friend.
podcast called You're My Best Friend. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the ultimate irony to a certain degree. And then at the same time, it's like when you're spending thousands of dollars to do something that brings in at the
Maybe
time,
100?
I mean, we did well in the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
And then we spent it all. But it
Aren't
was
you
a, it
glad
was
we didn't rent a studio?
I mean, could you imagine if we had a lease?
Oh, that would have been a nightmare. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
we would probably hate each other right now, like legitimately hate each other.
Yeah.
Because we probably still have to be working together. Well, I think, depending on how long the lease was, we'd probably still be stuck in a lease,
Yeah.
uh, and trying to figure out how to make it work or walk away from it and, your credit get
And
hit.
this is why you should always listen to me, because I was the one who said that's a bad idea.
Well, okay. Anyway,
I'm right, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ruben admitting I'm right, which he never does. That's the telltale sign of what you want to listen for when Ruben doesn't want to admit you're right. He goes, "Well, anyway."
that's not true. Anyway, we'll move on to the next. What was point number 2 for you?
Oh man, point number 2 is that working with friends is really, really fun, honestly. And if we both had the time, which when we did launch the podcast, we did have time. Like we launched it coming out of different places in life. I was just graduated college, working a new job, single, traveling all the time. Like we made it work. And yeah. What?
I mean, we gotta address the fact that this whole thing was my pet project for you to get out of your depressive state of the breakup that you had just gone through like a couple months
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah. And it worked. Honestly, it really worked. And it was especially helpful going through COVID because
Mhm.
I mean, I know that it was hard for you, and I can't speak for you, but for me, COVID was just a really rough time because I work as a performer. Like the majority of what I do is in small spaces with other people performing and singing at the same time, no ability to mask, no ability to protect from that, and performing large events with hundreds of people, neither of which I was able to do. So I did not work for 3 years, and having something like this to continue doing and to continue networking and meeting people and hearing people's stories and sharing, like this was a lifeline for me.
Yeah.
And once we started to come out of that, that's one of the major components as to why we didn't continue doing the podcast, because once we came out of it, I started to work again, which I had never had to like sustainably continue to do. And I also got married, which takes up a lot of time too. But yeah, I mean, for me,
Oh yeah, it does.
for me, I would do it again in a heartbeat if I were in the same place in life. And I think you would too. Wouldn't you say that, Ruben?
No.
No? Okay, I'm
No.
too hard to work with. Yeah.
No, I mean, no, of course I
It's
would.
me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Okay, Taylor Swift. I think we've talked about what led to the downfall of our podcast, which was just really what it came down to was we had multiple scheduling conflicts. Plus, we also had just some interpersonal issues that we just weren't.
Yeah.
I wasn't really addressing properly.
And
And
you
so
have since
I have, yeah, and I realized at that point, like, listen, if God forbid I became unemployed and had the time that I did in 2020
then.
to do this podcast again, hell yeah, I would jump on it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why, like last time we did this, we said, hey, you know what? There might be more, but there might not be, is because
Yeah.
we were in the middle of trying to figure out what what 2023 would have looked like. And then, it kind of became a shitstorm on
Yeah.
on your end. And it became really a thing where it's like, okay, this is not manageable. And then there were a lot of different things that happened, with family moving away and
Yeah.
and just
Last year was horrible.
it was a rough
I
year.
I mean, just to name a few things, giant sewage flood and demolition in our apartment, uh, falling down the stairs, getting a bone bruise that still has not completely gone away. My husband has a brain tumor and epilepsy, which we knew about the epilepsy, to be fair, but he started seeing a new doctor and they had to hone in on some issues. He had to do a full, like, 3-day at home EEG with a helmet type thing. It was weird. My whole family left California, including my grandparents and my sister and my parents, and they sold my childhood home. And I got Hashimoto's disease, which,
Hashtag disease.
I had that before I had it for an unknown, undisclosed amount of time beforehand, but I found out last year. So, there was a lot. And when we initially did that episode, we were just kind of like, "Okay, we'll see what happens." And then it hit the fan apparently. And yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. So we're not promising anything with this comeback. Much like Friends reunited and did a reunion show, just like the cast of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunited and did a reunion show. Just like during COVID, there were a bunch of shows doing reunion Zooms. That doesn't mean the show is back. But it doesn't mean the show can't ever come back.
Right. Yeah. And who's to say whether it will or will not come back this year?
Are you getting texts? Because I'm hearing people text.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta figure. I'm using my. Sorry, I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm using my husband's laptop, and I don't know how to mute it. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. You're good.
Okay, thank God. All right.
Which is funny because Lauren's texting me in the background saying, "I don't know what's going on. I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going." I'm like, "You're not even in the room. Like, I don't know what you're listening to." Anyway, we're good. We're good, and everyone's fine. It's gonna be okay. I just had a flashback to 2020 for some reason.
Yeah, by the way, my husband's brain tumor is non-lethal. It's very, very, very small and probably doesn't ever need to be operated on. But yeah, we didn't know that at first. So,
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, and so
it's great when the doctor tells you, yeah, you have a brain tumor. I'll see you in 3 weeks for your appointment.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. What do you want to tell people about the future of what we're going to be doing here?
What do I want to tell people?
You're the only one here.
Well, you're here too.
Yeah, but I'm not talking to myself. Why would I talk to
I didn't
myself?
get to ask you. What are your 2 takeaways from our 5 years in podcasting together?
Number 1 is don't, and number 2 is do it.
Wait, so it's don't and then also do it, or don't do it?
Don't do it.
Don't.
No, so for me, my biggest takeaway is when you have a small business and it starts to make some money, don't turn around and buy more equipment that you don't actually need.
And yeah. Yeah.
And my other takeaway would be when you're doing a small business with a friend, keep detailed records of who paid for what and who needs to be reimbursed.
Yeah.
Or don't keep records and make sure the other person pays for it and then be like, I don't know what happened here.
That's what you did.
That's what we did.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of mic stands that aren't really great now.
So here's the thing. I figured out the problem. I'm using one of the old mic stands right now, and it just needed counterweight.
Yes, that's what I told you. We knew that.
You never mentioned this.
Oh my gosh. The microphones that we use are heavy.
Yes, I understand that. Now, but you thought just tightening it would fix it. And I was like, okay, whatever. You're the professional. I like these other stands that clamp on the desk and they kind of go over and they just
those were nice stands. I think mine's out in the closet somewhere. Well, those were great.
I didn't know yours was gay.
One day, man. One day I'll have an at-home studio and a desk and a separate living room, kitchen, and dining room. But
Sounds like
today is
and
not
a
that.
Rubin room.
And a Reuben room, yes. And a Lauren room.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that point, it could be one and the same.
That is true. You're right. Yeah.
That was a sex joke, everybody.
It was a very, very veiled sex joke.
Well, listen, I'm not the same guy I used to be. I can't just come out here and say things for the sake of saying things. I have responsibilities now. You know, like I have responsibilities.
What are those?
You're in. I forgot what
Are
the
they
line.
bills?
Kind of, but there's a. You're not a Rugrats kid.
Oh no, I wasn't allowed to watch that. My parents thought I would turn into one of them.
You are one now. We did, and if you follow us on Instagram, we did drop some hints that we might be doing something again, and we got a couple questions.
We did. We did get a couple questions. Let me pull those up.
The first question comes from Ruben. He says, "Where the hell y'all been?" Just like that. Where the hell y'all been? What happened?
You want to answer that one?
I want to hear your answer first.
Where have we been? I mean, for me, trying to survive. That's been me. Although I'm finally in a place where I'm able to thrive, I think. But what about you?
Oh, you know, I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa.
Tustin?
Tustin.
He's been to Tustin, everybody.
I've been to Tustin quite a bit. Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma. It's safe to say that I've been everywhere, man.
Spoiler alert, he has not been to any of those places, almost.
That's not true.
You've been to Mexico.
I've been to Mexico. I've been to Reno.
Yeah. You've been to Tehachapi.
I've been to Tehachapi. I've been to Tampa, and I've been to the Panama Canal.
I hear that's a great place to end your life.
The Panama Canal?
No, Tehachapi.
What's the next question up on the docket?
We got a question from... Oh my gosh, I need to find this person.
Lauren, do you have any questions?
Jen. So we got a question from Jen Marks asking, how did we meet?
How did we meet?
I was playing a show
that you were... show, and you'll hear the full, again, Dollywood, $1 million contract, the whole 9 yards.
One Direction, X Factor, all that.
Factor.
Yeah. No, I was playing a show with my band MXI that Ruben J was emceeing, and actually for the first couple of years of our friendship, I was under the impression that he was a stand-up comedian. Because I did not know what an MC was. I thought he was just doing bits in between the bands.
I mean, I was.
I mean, you were. But yeah, we weren't really, we met at that show, and I think I was 15. But we weren't really friends until much later on. I think it was honestly just that my parents really connected with you. That we stayed in the picture.
Yeah, and then they did pay me for a while to be your friend.
To work for their company, yes.
Which was called Moxie Needs Friends LLC.
That is not what it was called. Yes. The LLC is called Music and Influence LLC, not Moxie Needs Friends. That's a separate LLC.
And honestly, it started out with, the running joke was from day one. Every time we talked was like, we should do this on a podcast, regularly. I had you on my internet radio show, and I had different podcasts and different forums and stuff. And every time we
really fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. And really, I became friends with their parents. And then I think it was the day of the Alter Bridge concert, the first time that things changed for us, because I cried like a baby.
Well, and also there's the gold mine story and
Oh, yes, the gold story. Oh gosh, I don't think Lauren knows that story.
turns out I was a gold mine for a couple $100, which we promptly spent on way too many XLR cables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and four microphones.
yeah.
The
And
next
my
question:
husband, but he's not that expensive.
You
Um,
paid for your husband?
no, you got my husband.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
listen, your husband is worth his weight in gold.
he is, but not physical money, like metaphorical gold.
I mean, if there was real gold involved, like Brad would be worth his weight times 12, probably
That
in
is true.
gold. He
Yeah.
is salt of the earth.
What is he,
Um,
salt or gold?
both. Uh,
Oh.
let's do this one. I love this one. Love this question from our good friend Chaos Reaper 92. One of our OG longtime followers, longtime
Mhm.
friends. He wants to know, which tacos will you always love until the end of time?
That's a great question. Um, I mean, honestly, for me, I cannot, and I still to this day, like when I am given the choice, I can't beat just a street taco, pollo with onions and cilantro and lime. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the only words she knows in Spanish.
Yes, that is correct. I also know baño and uh uh agua.
Oh, there you go. I'm really surprised that you didn't say I really like street tacos de baño with agua on there. Like that would have been pretty funny.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say chicken, and then I was like, I know the word. I'm from SoCal. Like,
You should know what the word chicken is in Spanish.
yeah,
Uh,
it's peacock.
uh, I think for myself, if I had to choose like one taco that I would have for the rest of my life, it would have to be the one that I grew up eating every couple of weeks as a kid, which is just a hard shell ground beef taco with some cheese and a little line of cocaine, which is why
What? What?
a line of cocaine, no, a line of sour cream. That was mom would make that as a staple in our house, and you knew that she was tired when that was on the menu because
Mhm.
it was an easy thing to do and a cheap fix. So I do appreciate those.
Yeah,
Do you have the
very
next
nice.
question?
I do. Sean Gable, our good friend and follower, Sean, and this is
Hey,
kind of an
John,
inside
how are
joke.
you?
Yeah, he's good.
Are you sure about that? Did he tell you that?
Yeah.
'Cause
Um,
I don't even remember seeing this question in our inbox.
I asked separately on my page.
Oh,
Um, no, it's really funny actually. He asked this, which if you can see this, it says, "Did you move to Texas?"
oh, this ain't Texas.
Uh, nope. No, so the backstory on this is the other day I got really fed up because literally almost everyone I've seen recently has been like, "Didn't you move to Texas?" And I'm like, "No, I did not." And they're like, "Well, who did?"
Hey,
And I'm like,
hold
"I
on,
mean, my parents."
hold on. You told me the reason why we couldn't do this in person was because you moved to Texas.
Yeah, so I got bad news. I'm an orange.
What the hell? We could have done this in person.
No, it's fine. I'm staying with a friend. I have to go back to Texas tomorrow.
You don't have
I
any friends.
You know what? I have you. Yeah, I
But
don't have any
listen,
friends.
yeah, I was gonna say we established this already.
No, my parents, my whole family up and moved to Texas last year, and we did not move with them, but, like, literally almost all the friends, family, and coworkers who know my family, I upon seeing them have been like, "Didn't you move to Texas?" And I got somebody messaging me asking me to do some work for free, of course, who, like, messaged me out of the blue, said, "Hey, did you move to Texas?" And I was like, "Nope, still in California. Just posted about a gig with, like, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys members last week in
Humble
L."
brag.
I know. I had to work it in there. It's, like, the biggest gig I've ever done.
Yeah.
Um like at Pachanga in Temecula. I'm still here, obviously. And then he proceeded to ask me to do a gig for free. But I just got fed up and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. So I posted a whole big long, not a tirade, but like a sassy like PSA for everybody that we did not move to Texas. And it got so many comments from people being like, "But didn't you move to Texas?" So that's why Sean said that. No, I have not moved to Texas. We are looking at maybe moving to Nashville one day, but that's still a little ways off from now.
Thank God.
I know, seriously, and thank God
Oh,
not
you're moving
Texas.
to Nashville. Like, just get out of here already.
Oh my gosh.
We have another one from close personal friend. Another taco
Is it
related
you?
question. Is it what?
Is the close personal friend you?
No. It's Melody. She wants to know when the last time you had a taco was.
Aw. Wow, good question. Um, Probably my last gig. Most of the actually, it's pretty awesome because most of my gigs are in Southern California, and for 80s, because I do a lot of 80s parties. Um, and typically for like backyard birthday parties, anniversary parties, things like that, people just end up hiring a taco man. And usually it's very good. So yeah, usually I just get tacos for my gigs. Probably the last 80s gig I had.
And were you paid in tacos?
No, I was paid in money and tacos.
So for the record, if anyone ever needs an MC or a stand-up comedian, I will do work for tacos. Like they have to be good tacos.
Yep.
And they have to be in the dozens, but I will do it. I will work for tacos.
I will not work for tacos, but
No,
Ruby,
I mean you actually have skills and stuff that people appreciate. I just
so
talk.
do you.
I could be a professional talker. Like if you need someone just to hold conversation, in at a party or something, just hire me out like $50. Like just give me $50 and like a plate of tacos, and I'll come have conversations with people at your parties.
I mean, I would do that too. Although I would probably hate it. I don't like
Yeah,
talking to weird people.
you would need more money than $50 and some tacos.
Yeah, like 75.
Yeah, that actually sounds about right. What I pay you now to do these podcasts?
Yeah,
Uh, your
I'm
parents pay
on
me triple.
salary.
And then my last taco actually was about 4 hours ago.
Nice. Man,
Yeah,
getting up
we had,
there.
it's we had for lunch. My next taco will be in about 90 minutes from now.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we have more on your end?
We have one more, yeah, from Jordan, J Man.
Oh,
Uh
yep.
and we kind of already addressed this, but he asked, "Will it ever return and how's
Nope.
the friendship?"
Nope.
Cool. Maybe and great.
Those are two completely different answers we just gave.
I know, they're two separate questions. Keep
Yeah, no,
up.
no, I'm saying like my answers and your answers were so far apart.
Yeah, I know because you're just being snarky.
I'm me?
Yeah,
Snarky?
you.
Never.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Uh, no, the friendship I think is probably better now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Um, and will the podcast ever return? Well, wait and see.
Yeah.
Wait
I
and
think
see.
honestly, I would say there's a decent chance of that happening. Neither of us is really opposed to it. We're honestly just both so busy.
It's timing.
And
Really, it's timing.
it really is. Yeah, we hit that sweet spot with COVID and post grad and like everything. And then once I started to work again, that was kind of I barely have time to feed myself now. So
Which you should do regularly. Just FYI.
I have trouble with that.
Listen, you need to set a timer and eat a meal because you deserve it. Okay.
Okay. I'll do that once we're done here.
Perfect. Actually, if you wait 90 minutes, we can get tacos.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I could
Cool.
do that. I can make that
We
happen.
do have one last question, and then this will be where we wrap up. Lauren wants to know what's your favorite episode and least favorite episode.
Oh gosh. Do
Yeah,
you have that one in your brain?
I have my favorite episode. I think would be the Peyton Howie interview
Mm.
that we launched right before we did video interviews, which I'm very bummed about.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
probably my favorite interview I've ever done, just
Yeah.
because it felt like It honestly, do you remember when there was a little minute where we were talking about going on a radio station and there was the possibility of us being picked up?
Yes.
It was
Actually, yes, yeah.
it was that interview that got us on their radar.
Aw.
So, and then our financial demands just were too much for the radio station. But
Yeah.
that was my favorite one, and I think my favorite or my least favorite podcast would have to be the one that we did.
Oh, what? Ruben just left me. Why did he leave me?
Because that was just really one of the worst, like just a terrible, terrible time.
Oh
Uh,
my god. Are you pulling a Jim? I hate you. You just left me again. All right. Well, if I'm on my own, I'm going to talk about my own stuff.
and then
Hi, this is Moxie. And oh, he's back. Great. Cool.
listen, I will never badmouth an episode that we did, mainly because I don't want that person to feel bad.
Yeah.
But they know who they are.
That's so mean. Oh my gosh. No, I have a couple favorite ones. I really liked the one that we did with Gabrielle Stone. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
one was cool. That whole series that we did. So there was one day when we were in a studio space when we were kind of in between spots, and we tried to line up like 6 interviews that day. That was such a long night.
That was.
But we did like Valerie Ostrowski, we did Bob
Who did
Bradley
who?
that day. Valerie.
Oh, Valerie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we did Kendra Mickey and Egypt McKee that day too. Oh, and Woody. Woody
And
from Our Last
yeah,
Night.
yeah, and Lacey Mercedes was that same night.
Yeah.
You know what happened like immediately after that series
No.
of interviews? We got into a heated discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll
That
talk about
was
that another time.
yeah, and that was the night you refused to use your AAA card, for Elaine's car? I don't remember.
No, I
I
think I volunteered to you.
No, I remember I was really upset with you because you wouldn't I don't remember, it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
do have a least favorite episode. Uh,
This is the one that
I'm
got deleted.
Yes, it is, because literally everybody guys, this is
Oh.
this was a major component of, like, the breakdown starting to happen. Ruben deleted episodes, not once, not twice, but 3 friggin' times, and they were such good episodes. Like, one of them was a Friendsgiving episode, right? And we had to
Yeah.
redo that, and one of them was the episode that we did after the royal ball, and, I forget
No,
the other one.
that's the same one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, it is. You're right, it is. But I don't remember the other 2. But I know there were 3 times.
No, it was just 2. It had to be just 2 because the Royal Ball and the Friendsgiving one were one and the same. But the second one wasn't even the full episode. It was just the video component of an interview we did with somebody named Brett Cooper, who went off to be a huge star thanks to us. So we discovered her. And that's that. That's yeah, no, I agree. That was probably the worst episode we ever did was the ones that got deleted.
Yeah. Yeah, and, good riddance.
Good riddance. Exactly. So with that, follow our Instagram.
Yeah.
How do we do this? There was a way that we did this.
We did all the socials all at once. I think it was like follow us on Instagram at Best Friend Podcast and follow our personal pages at Moxie and Music and at the Ruben J. And follow us.
I remember how.
Oh, you like threw it to me, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember how it's done. Okay, let's try to do this again. Let's try to do this.
Okay.
Just for the record, just so people understand kind of what the plan is moving forward, is we have no idea if we're going to release another formal episode. But we do have plans to do some TikToks and Reels, which I think realistically might be the best use of our time to continue to hang out and make videos. I mean, that's just kind of what that might be. Anyway,
honestly, I want to say one more thing. My philosophy on this stuff for a long time now has been, and this is kind of the same thing that Sydney Ellen and I do in our work with Heartless a Duo, is if it's fun and we enjoy doing it while we're doing it. There is a good takeaway from it, whether it's money or quality time or good material coming out of it, whatever it is. Like, it has to be that combination of like useful for both of us and most importantly, fun. And if
Yeah.
we're not having fun, then there's why? Like, why are we doing it? Because at the end of the day, like, you're spending your time more than anything else. And this podcast has always been fun in its own way, but when it came to that breakdown of timing and resources and everything, it was really getting to the point where it wasn't fun. And
Yeah.
so I'm not opposed to doing it again, but at the place where we're both at in life with I mean, with everything with work and with you getting married soon and all of that, like,
I'm getting married.
yeah, surprise.
Yeah.
No, but, like, at the place where we're at in life right now, it's probably not going to be a steady thing, but I'm not ruling it out for the future. So we'll see.
And if somebody wants to like, hey, sign us a check for like 100 grand each,
That'd
to
be
do
cool
this,
too. I
then
would
we do this
100%
every
do
week.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We will do it. We will do 52 episodes a week if you guys want to sign us, or 52.
We will not be doing 52 episodes a week. Dear God.
Oh no. 52 episodes a year is what we would do for 100 grand each. If someone
I
wanted,
would do more than that. Man.
I mean, yeah, we do a couple for free probably. But anyway,
Or if, like, our streaming service wanted to remonetize us, like, that'd be cool too,
that would
but
have been great. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
God, 2020 was weird.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Anyway, my name's Ruben J.
And I'm Moxie Ann.
And follow us on Instagram.
At Best Friend Podcast.
And then I think we have a TikTok.
Oh, yeah. I think it's also at Best Friend Podcast. Shoot. I'm assuming it's Best Friend Podcast.
Also, YouTube at Multimedia Man. What is our YouTube? I know our YouTube. YouTube.
I know what our Facebook is. Can I say our Facebook?
Yeah. We have Facebook.
The Best Friend Show.
Oh my gosh. You know what? It was so easy when we had a domain.
I know. Yeah. Oh, we no longer have a domain, huh?
No, I think we let that expire a while ago.
Yeah.
Follow Moxie at the Moxie. Nope, that's not it. Our social media will be in the description down below. Follow us. I post almost daily. Moxie posts whenever she wants.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see you next week.
Maybe. We'll see. Stay tuned, everybody. Happy April Fools. Happy 5 years. Finger guns. They can't hear finger guns, you know. Have a great week, everybody.